My name is Laura, and I've always been ambitious. When I landed a job as a junior analyst at the prestigious firm Sterling & Croft, I knew I had the talent to climb the ladder. The problem was, no one seemed to notice. My direct manager was a master at taking credit for my work, and I was just another face in a sea of eager young professionals. But I was determined to be seen, and the person I wanted to be seen by was David Sterling. He was a legend in our industry, the charismatic, powerful, and very married head of my division. He had a reputation for spotting and mentoring bright young talent. I made it my mission to get on his radar. I stayed late, I volunteered for extra work, and I made sure my analyses were flawless. And one day, it worked. It started with a simple compliment in a team meeting. "Excellent point, Laura," he said, his eyes locking onto mine for a fraction of a second too long. A week later, it was an invitation to a mentorship coffee. That coffee turned into late-night work sessions on a big project, his hand brushing mine as we looked over spreadsheets, the air crackling with an unspoken energy. He told me his marriage was a partnership of convenience, a hollow arrangement. He told me I was the most brilliant young mind he'd seen in years. I was intoxicated by the attention, by the power. One rainy Thursday night, with the office empty and the city lights glittering below, we crossed the line. The affair was a whirlwind. I felt like I was living in a different reality. I had a direct line to the most powerful man in the company. He'd text me during board meetings. We'd have secret lunches at discreet restaurants. He'd listen to my ideas, telling me they were revolutionary. "You going straight to the top, Laura," he'd whisper. "I'll make sure of it." I was special. I wasn't just his lover. I was his protégé, his secret weapon. The real test came when he asked me to draft a proposal for a massive new initiative. It was my chance to shine, to present my own strategy. "Don't show this to your manager," he told me, his voice a low conspiratorial murmur. "Email it directly to my private address. This will be our project." I poured my soul into that proposal. For 2 weeks, I barely slept, crafting a strategy that was bold, innovative, and flawless. This wasn't just a project, it was my future, the one he had promised me. I finally sent it to him, my heart soaring with a mix of pride and anticipation. The next day, I was in the office kitchen, grabbing a coffee. 2 senior women from another department were talking quietly by the window. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop, but I heard a name that made me freeze. "It's a shame what happened to Sophie last year," one of them said. "Which Sophie?" the other asked. "David's last special project," she replied, making air quotes with her fingers. "The brilliant girl from marketing. He mentored her, she came up with that amazing campaign, and then, right after it launched, she was gone, vanished." A cold, sickening dread washed over me. Sophie. I vaguely remembered her, a smart, ambitious woman who had quit abruptly. I stood there, my coffee growing cold in my hand, and a horrifying question began to form in my mind. Was I David's new special project? Was I just the next Sophie? The conversation in the kitchen gnawed at me. Special project. Vanished. It echoed in my mind, planting a seed of doubt that quickly grew into a thorny bush of suspicion. I remembered David's evasiveness about his past protégés, his quick changes of subject whenever I asked about anyone he had mentored before. It all suddenly felt too familiar, too rehearsed. I decided to do some digging. Discreetly, I used my access to the company's internal archives. It wasn't hard to find Sophie's old project files. What I found was a detailed marketing campaign proposal for a new product launch. As I read through it, a chill ran down my spine. The core strategy, the innovative approach, even some of the exact phrasing. It was eerily similar to my own proposal. David hadn't just mentored her, he had used her, and then he had discarded her. My heart pounded. Was this happening to me? Was I merely a disposable source of fresh ideas for him? The idea that our passionate, secret connection was just a calculated act, a way for him to extract my best work, was a bitter, nauseating truth. The love, the promises, the shared dreams, it was all a lie. I couldn't confront him. Not yet. I needed more. My next target was the company's server logs. It was a risky move, poking around where I shouldn't, but my fury was overriding my fear. I needed to know if I was just paranoid or if I was truly just another pawn in his game. It took me 3 nights of staying late, hiding in my cubicle, working under the guise of extra project work. Finally, I found it. David Sterling's private email archives. And a folder, hidden deep within, simply labeled Projects. My fingers trembled as I clicked it open. Inside were dozens of proposals, each one from a different junior employee, male and female, spanning years. Each proposal was for a new initiative, a new strategy, brilliant and innovative. And next to each file was a date, the date it was submitted. And then, a few weeks later, the date that employee's contract was terminated or they resigned. My own proposal was the very last one. I scrolled through them, my heart sinking lower with each click. And then I saw something else. Each brilliant proposal was later integrated, piece by piece, into larger David Sterling initiatives that had earned him accolades, bonuses, and promotions. He wasn't just mentoring. He was a corporate vampire, sucking the lifeblood of original ideas from ambitious young minds, taking all the credit, and then disposing of the source. I sat there in the dark office, surrounded by the ghosts of his past, special projects, the silence broken only by the hum of the computers. My entire world had just collapsed. The man I loved, the man I had trusted with my dreams and my body, was a fraud, a thief, and I was next. But I wasn't Sophie. I wasn't going to vanish. I was going to fight back, and I knew exactly where to start. David had made one crucial mistake. He had told me his marriage was a hollow arrangement. He had underestimated his wife. I knew David's wife, Margaret, only by reputation. She was a prominent charity fundraiser, a woman known for her quiet elegance and sharp intelligence. She was not the meek, oblivious wife David had painted her to be. I took the biggest gamble of my life. I found her charity's office address and sent a simple, anonymous email. I have information about your husband's professional misconduct that you need to see. For your own protection. Be at the cafe on 4th and Main, tomorrow at noon. Come alone. To my surprise, she came. She was poised and guarded, her eyes scrutinizing me. I didn't waste time with pleasantries. I laid out everything. My story, the emails, and the list of names, the ghosts of his past projects. I showed her how he had used us, how he had built his career on a foundation of stolen ideas and broken hearts. As she listened, her mask of composure didn't crack, but I could see a storm gathering in her eyes. When I was done, she was silent for a long time. Finally, she looked at me, not with pity, but with a cold, steely resolve. "Thank you for telling me this, Laura," she said. "I've had my own suspicions for years. This is the proof I needed." What happened next was a corporate implosion. Margaret Sterling was not a woman to be trifled with. Armed with my evidence, she went directly to the board of directors, of which her father was the chairman. An internal investigation was launched. It was swift and brutal. Faced with a mountain of digital evidence and the testimony of several former employees, the other Sophies whom I had managed to contact, David Sterling's career was over. He was fired for gross professional misconduct and intellectual property theft. His name was disgraced in the industry he had so proudly dominated. And, of course, Margaret filed for divorce, taking him for everything she was legally entitled to, which was a significant amount. As for me, I submitted my proposal, under my own name, directly to the board. They were so impressed and so eager to make amends that they not only approved it, but offered me the position of project lead to see it through. It was a promotion that leapfrogged me 5 years up the corporate ladder. My affair with David Sterling had been a lie, a painful, humiliating mistake. But in the end, I didn't let him destroy me. I had taken the power back. I had exposed a predator and, in the process, found my own voice, my own strength. I didn't need a powerful man to make my career. I just needed to be the brilliant woman I had been all along.